In our old buddy Michelle Malkin, who joins us every week at this time. She's out in Colorado. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Hey, I'm sure you thought it was curious that just as Barack Obama's convention bounce pretty much vanished, they are now within the margin of error according to the Real Clear Politic poll of the 6 major averages right now. Right at that time, then, there's this video that is leaked to Mother Jones. It shows Mitt Romney talking about, about half the country's not going to vote for me because, they don't pay taxes, and so they're not, receptive to his message of cutting taxes. What do you make of what is going on out there right now?
I think it's coordinated. I think that it's manufactured, and I have dubbed it the politics of Squirrel. The talking dog from Up. That's right. Who was easily distracted by every big, fluffy diversion. And I think that the Democrat... That's right. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. And I've done this many times. There are actually screen caps of this. And I think it's a good analogy for what's going on between Democratic Party strategists and their enablers in the media. Because you have David Corn of this far-left storied magazine, Mother Jones, who coordinated with the grandson of Jimmy Carter, who, of course, now has a job doing this kind of dirty opposition research, and manufacturing faux rage over what are really just statements of hard political reality by Romney at this fundraiser in May in Florida.
Well, 63% of the public so far, when polled, has said this has no effect on their decision who they're going to vote for, and we'll see where we go from here. I think Mitt Romney will be helped because he's actually going to campaign for a change and not raise money in already red states. Now they're going to go out. Does this surprise you?
No, this is where they need to be. And if you listened to what has been released, it's not clear that it was the full video. But he says, preceding these comments that everybody has been publicizing, he talks specifically about the independents, the people who are not completely in the tank and in the cult of Obama, who can be swayed. And I think the kind of comments that he made are going to appeal to independents, the moderates that are left in this country, because they still have the same basic values that the Republican Party tried to showcase during the convention and that Romney has been talking about and the media is ignoring. That we are having a choice here in November between an America of makers versus America of takers. And everything that's been coming out, again, that the media is ignoring about the rise in food stamp recipients, the rise in abuse of Social Security, disability payments, the massive explosion of the welfare state at the expense of working people and productive people, people who want to lift themselves up. It's really coming to a head. And I think the only mistake that Romney made was when he said that he was writing off those people. Yes. And I think that does not jibe with what the message was from the RNC. Right. And he even said that he had said it inelegantly. Yeah. But the fact is that people want to lift themselves up. Right. And I think that there's going to be a revolt in November.
As usual, sort of that one line, the whole entire message gets lost when there's a one line that's controversial, and that's all that people talk about. The other interesting thing is that I think both sides put out, ammunition, because then right away there was this tape that came out about Barack Obama from 14 years ago when he talked about redistribution. The story to me is not whether or not they have dueling tapes, it's how it's covered. Let's listen to the tape first, and then I want to get your opinion.
I think the trick is figuring out how do we structure government systems that pool resources and hence facilitate some redistribution, because I actually believe in redistribution, at least at a certain level, to make sure that everybody's got a shot.
So there we can finally see the then state senator talking about how he believes in redistribution. Yesterday, I don't think anybody touched it except Fox News Channel. And we did, by the way, run the Mitt Romney stuff from the day before. Andrea Mitchell over on MSNBC refused to run it, even though the White House eventually did authenticate it, because she said, I can't verify that it's really him.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, she is a frequent winner of mine of the Drill Bucket Award for Obama. And all of a sudden, she puts on this pose of neutrality and objectivity. It's laughable. And I think that the release of these kinds of tapes are useful insofar as they confirm what so many of us already know about the blatant, flagrant bias of these people who pretend to be on the sidelines. This is relevant, and these tapes, whether they're from last May or whether they're from 95 or 98, are all very useful, but only insofar as you connect it to what's going on now. I mean, we know that this guy is the prophet of redistribution of wealth. Just look at the $1 trillion stimulus. What was that but a huge progressive slush fund from taxpayers to every last little crony of the Obama administration?
Michelle, maybe that's why the polls say that Americans are not paying that close attention to these tapes, because they know that actually they're not gaffes. This is what the two candidates think, and this is how they differ dramatically, right?
Yeah, and I said this last night on Hannity, too, about the whole hoo-ha over David Corn's tape. You know, outside of the Beltway Manhattan bubble, people don't know who he is and don't care. They care about gas prices. They care about not having a job. They care about their kids' future. And the fact that Romney said this sacrilegious, blasphemous thing that he doesn't support freeloaders is not a human rights violation to them.
Yeah, and you mentioned David Corn. David Corn has now had to explain, oh, yeah, that Mitt Romney tape that we said, all of it was there. Yeah, it's missing a minute or two. Anyway, that's the fine print. All right, mighty fine having you on this Thursday. Michelle, have a great week. See you back here next week.
You bet.
All right.
Take care, guys.